everybody, welcome back to A Dinosaur in the Library. I'm Dawn and I am speaking to you from the past. I'm recording this prior to the day, but this is going up on Time Travel Day, October 21st, 2015, the day that Marty and Doc Brown came and fixed Marty's future and his children's. And yes, if you haven't seen Back to the Future and its sequels, what are you doing with your life? You disappoint me. Go watch them. So I am here today to recommend to you some of my favorite time travel books and show you a few of the ones on my shelf about time travel that I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm very excited to try. So first thing is we got to talk about the basis of my obsession, and that's going to be H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. And while I do have the book, I want to show you this is the original adaptation of this from 1960, starring Rod Taylor and Yvette Mimieux. And this is the only good edition. The one that came out with in 2002, I hated. I'm going to try to rewatch it. I'm going to try to give it a good shake, but I remember absolutely hating it when I watched it the first time. I love this one. This is the one with the fabulous gold time machine that looks like it came out of a steampunk novel, and it's just wonderful. So then I also have this, which is a little reflecty right now. This is a still from the Time Machine set, and it is signed by Rod Taylor. I found this on eBay for a really reasonable price, and I snagged it. And my favorite movie of all time, Back to the Future, the entire trilogy. So this is just the complete trilogy, and it does have special features, but this week, I think it's this week, they have come out with a super duper special edition for the 30th anniversary, and it's got all kinds of special features, including the animated series, and it's just so much stuff. I need this in my life. Unfortunately, I cannot afford it right now, so I'm gonna have to wait for Christmas or a gift card or a miracle or lottery or something, I guess, because I don't have the money to get it right now. But it looks so pretty. I really want it. It looks so pretty. But that is my favorite movie of all time, and the reason I'm so obsessed with time travel and Back to the Future, this book right here. I do have two editions. I have the 1970 cover, which I bought for $1 at a local used bookstore a while back, and you know, it's just a time sheet. But this picture, man, this picture, it's insane. If you've ever seen the movie, you can kind of see the girl in the picture there. That is not what she looks like in the movie, and that's kind of not what she's supposed to look like in the book either. But then I also bought this year a signet edition of The Time Machine with a foreword and an afterword and introduction and all that. I really wish they would come out with one of those really pretty editions, like Barnes & Noble edition or some other kind. Even the Word Cloud edition would be fine, but they never ever do The Time Machine. And it's not the length, because War of the Worlds is not that much bigger, but there's editions fit, so I don't know. And my nose is really itching, so I'm sorry. I think my allergies are acting up. So I'm not the only person who is completely fascinated with The Time Machine, obviously. And so people have written sequels over the years, and one I don't have a copy of, but I do want to mention. I can't remember the author's last name. I'll try to remember and put it in a note. But it's The Man Who Loved Morlocks, and it's the only sequel that really picks up right as Time Machine ends and continues forward. And this was written multiple years later, so in the 80s, I think. And Time Machine was, of course, published in the 1800s. So not necessarily an authorized sequel or anything like that, but it is an amazing one, and I really did love it. I had to get it through interlibrary loan because I could not find a copy of it to buy. Yeah, eventually I am going to have a copy of that because I really enjoyed it and I thought it was awesome. The second sequel that I want to talk about is Morlock Night by K.W. Jeter, and I love this edition. This is the Angry Robots books. They do great stuff. I have a ton of books from them that I absolutely love. I've never purchased a book that they published that I did not absolutely love. They do a lot of steampunk, a lot of fantasy, sci-fi, that sort of thing. And they do have more of K.W. Jeter's books. The one on the back listed here is Infernal Devices, and they all have this sort of same cover design. And I think this is just an amazing cover. And actually, I wonder, I always mean to look to see who did the cover art. Cover art is by John Coulthart. And John Coulthart did an amazing job with this. This is awesome. But this was a really good one. I like this a lot. The Morlocks have come to Victorian England using the time machine. And of course, they must be stopped. Yeah. Great. Then this one I have not read, and that is Stephen Baxter's The Time Ships. And you may recognize Stephen Baxter's name if you watch this channel, because I talked a lot about the Long Earth series by Terry Pratchett and Stephen Baxter. And I probably should have brought those over too, but it's not really time travel. It's sort of like parallel universe travel, but he wrote those with Terry Pratchett, and I loved those a lot. And I've never read anything of his other than maybe a short story. So I'm really looking forward to getting to this one. It has come highly recommended to me. Okay, then the next one I have is this bad boy, Stephen King, 11/22/63. A guy goes back in time to the time of JFK's assassination, and, you know, time travel hijinks ensue. But it's, you know, as Stephen King tends to do, it is a monster book. I think this edition is somewhere around 800 and something pages. Well worth the read. If you don't read Stephen King because you don't like horror, this is actually a really good place for you to read Stephen King. Because this is not a horror novel. This is a time travel novel. It's a time travel and alternate history novel. So you could read this and read Stephen King if you want to without worried about the horror. Because I know I love horror, but I know some people just really don't like that genre. And I think that this would, if you've kind of been wanting to read him, but you don't know that you can deal with his horror stuff, this would actually be a really good one for you. The next thing I have is something you've heard me talk about multiple times, and that is Felix J. Palma's The Map of Time. And this is the Trilogia Victoriana. There are 3 books in this. Of course, it's Trilogia. It's a trilogy. And these are Spanish novels in translation. And I have all 3. I have not read the 3rd one. And each of them is built around an H.G. Wells novel. This is built around The Time Machine. The second one is built around The War of the Worlds. And the third is built around The Invisible Man. And in each of them, H.G. Wells is an actual character, which was pretty awesome. And I absolutely love this series, and I talk it up anytime I get a chance. I absolutely love the first one. I absolutely loved the second one, and I am sure I'm going to adore the third one. I am only sad that it is not a longer series. And I'm also sad that I have these in 3 separate editions. I have the mass market paperback of Map of Time. I have the trade paperback of the Map of Chaos, or Map of the Sky, and then the hardcover edition of Map of Chaos. And I would like to have them all in mass market paperback, but once I saw the end papers of Map of Chaos, I kind of want to order them all in hardback if they have those end papers, because those end papers were gorgeous. If you've seen the end papers for Fairest in the Lunar Chronicles, they're done like that. They're just this gorgeous painted scene that I just flipped for. So, beautiful end papers, excellent books, another series you should read. This next one I hesitate to even put in a video because I really don't like this author as a person. But I read this book years before I ever found out what a bigoted homophobe he is. So I will recommend it because I know some people really do like Orson Scott Card, and some people just kind of overlook people, authors' real lives. So if you are one of those people that can do that and you like time travel, you will really like this book. I really like this book because I love the idea in it. So this is Past Watch, The Redemption of Christopher Columbus. And what happens is in the future, they figure out a way to view the past, like on big computer screens, like actually view the past. And as the technology gets more and more sophisticated, they figure out that they can start hearing things, and then they can start changing things, and then they figure out that they could possibly send someone back into the past. So they get a team together and send them back into the past, figuring out that they think that the point at which the world went completely wrong was when Christopher Columbus landed in North America and, pardon my French, fucked the whole joint up. I won't go on my soapbox about this, but I cannot stand Christopher Columbus, and the fact that there is still a Columbus Day just aggravates me to no end. But that is a rant for another video. But anyway, so they go back to try to strengthen the nations in North America, to North and Central America, to try to fix it so that when Christopher Columbus lands, it's more of a visiting another nation rather than conquering a people who are not as technologically advanced. So I won't give anything away about what actually happens, but I really loved this book. I really, really loved the thought behind it and the ethics and the morals that of time travel specifically that he goes into here, because nobody really talks about that a lot when they do time travel, and I really enjoyed it, which is why it made me so sad when I found out he was such an incredible jerk in real life. But if you can overlook that, or you're willing to overlook it for an excellent time travel book, go get this. And there was supposed to be a second one, I heard, but it never materialized, so I don't know if it's gonna eventually show up, and then I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it, or if it's just never going to happen. Honestly, either way, the ending ties up pretty nicely. He could have written a sequel very easily, but it can do without it. So no worries about reading this and the end just dropping off on you. The next one is an author that I positively love, and that is Douglas Adams. The book I brought over here for this is Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. And there's some time travel in here, and I think that people read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe or Galaxy quite a bit, but they forget about Dirk Gently and the sequel, The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul. And I love Dirk Gently. I think he's kind of awesome. I mean, honestly, I do love Hitchhikers more, but that could be just because I found Hitchhikers first. But I do absolutely adore Dirk Gently. I think he's amazing. And for those of you who are interested, I think it's IDW now has a comic series, a monthly single issue comic series based on Dirk Gently. And I think they're only up to issue 4. I have not had a chance to read them, so I cannot speak to the quality, but I have seen pictures and the artwork looks amazing. My local comic shop that I love, SHQ The Vault, if you are in Tallahassee, they are amazing people. She is getting me the new one that's coming out, and then she's going to try to order the back issues if she can, and if not, I will find them elsewhere. But yeah, so if you like comics and you like Douglas Adams, you might want to check that out because it looks awesome. And the Back to the Future comic is also starting this month. Starting today, actually, October 21st. Like I said, I'm talking to you from the past. So I will hopefully already have this in my grubby little mitts by the time this video is seen by you. Okay, so the next thing I have are some YA books, and of course, I have to talk about Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and its sequels, Hollow City and Library of Souls, and my friend still has my copy of Library of Souls, but I do own it in hardcover, so I really need to get the first one in hardcover just because I really love this series, and I really do want them all to match. And plus, they're just beautiful. I love them so much. Quirk Books did a really great job on these. But so if you've read these, you know that there are little essentially bubbles that the children and the peculiars live in, and once you cross that line into their bubble, you're essentially time traveling. So not traditional time travel, but time travel nonetheless. The next one is a book that I read when I was probably 12 or 13, and so the 90s, early 90s, and I went online and found a copy because the story stuck with me this whole time, and I finally found it, and that is The Stranger in the Mirror by Lynn Beach, and it's in this Phantom Valley series, which is kind of like Fear Street meets Sweet Valley High, that kind of thing. And there were a lot of ripoffs of Fear Street back in the day, and this was kind of one of the series. But this one, the girl buys an antique mirror, and she ends up going through the mirror into, I think, the 1800s. I need to reread this. 17 or 1800s, and the girl on the other side is a complete whack job. But it is so cool. I loved this when I read it the first time. It's a horror novel, and it's also time travel. I don't know what else I could have asked for from it. It was kind of awesome. A little bit on nostalgia for you. The next one, I just brought the first one, Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, but the entire time quintet. They travel back and forth across the universe, things like this. So And if you have not read A Wrinkle in Time or its sequels, again, what are you doing with your life? You need to go do this. And I really love this Squarefish edition. I have the first one and the third one in this edition, and I really would like to get all of them in this, because right now I think I only have the first 3 books, and I've read all of them, but I really need to reread them, and I really want them all in this edition. I love the drawings. The artwork is just beautiful, and they have pictures of the others on the back, and they look just as pretty, so I'm gonna have to get those. The next one is a book that I did not read until I was in my master's program, but it's only been out, I think, since 2008 or 9, and it's a Newbery medal winner, and that's Rebecca Stead's When You Reach Me. I won't go into it too much, but there is time travel in this book, and I didn't know it going in, so when I found out, I was really excited, because I had to read it for my children's literature class. Yeah, because this is more upper middle grade, I guess, than YA, but it was amazing. And I would be completely out of my mind not to mention one of the best and most amazing pieces of time travel equipment ever invented, and that is the Time Turner, found in The Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. So, yeah. Hermione's Time Turner is one of my favorite things in this entire series. I have a plastic one that I should have brought over, but it's on one of my tote bags that I carry back and forth to school and everywhere else. And I really, really, really want this nice necklace that I saw online. It really wasn't that expensive. It was only like $15, but I just really can't buy it right now. But it looks just like the Time Turner is supposed to look in the movie and everything, and it's really pretty. And I don't like gold. I hate gold. But for this, I will make an exception. So the Time Turner in The Prisoner of Azkaban. Okay, so I have 3 more. And this video has gone on for 17 minutes already. So forgive, but it is my favorite topic. This is the only graphic novel I have on this. And that is Jesus Hates Zombies. This is the bind up of volumes 1 through 4 from 215 Inc. And it's got Jesus and dinosaurs and Abraham Lincoln, and again, what more could you want from a graphic novel? You know, I mean, it's black and white. I don't know if the others are in color, but this one is all in black and white, and I just absolutely love this. I just think it's cool as hell. So, if you like graphic novels and rather irreverent humor, I would say, check this out. The next to last one I have is a nonfiction book, and it's Time Travel in Einstein's Universe, The Physical Possibilities of Travel Through Time by J. Richard Gott. I picked this up, I think, at Goodwill earlier this year, and this cover is really bright, so I'm going to just put it down here. But it sounded really cool. It's nonfiction about Einstein, relativity, and how that may lead to, you know, how it may lead us to be able to travel through time, things like this. So I'm really looking forward to finally getting to that. And the last one I have is this huge anthology. It's The Time Traveler's Almanac, edited by Anne and Jeff Vandermeer. And I haven't gotten to read this yet. I have a feeling that I've read several of the stories in here before. I know that Time Machine is in here, so obviously I've read that. But it's just this huge, massive bind-up of a bunch of time travel literature. So, of course, I had to buy it. And I found out that the Vandermeers actually live in Tallahassee, which is super interesting to me. And I want to go meet them because clearly they love time travel as much as I do to edit this beautiful volume. And I did forget to bring one over here, and it is the Mammoth Book of Time Travel Sci-Fi. And Mammoth puts out these anthologies. I have 2 of them. I have Time Travel and Sci-Fi by Women. And there's also an alternate history one, which I'm dying to get. But they're really, really cool. And that actually contains one of my favorite short stories of all time. And I can't remember the title right now, which is weird because it is my favorite short story about time travel, and I'm desperately sorry to the author, but I will put it in a little bar here. You will forgive me. I am still recovering from tremendous anxiety attacks. So that's all I have today, and I'm pretty sure you're going, thank God she's finally stopping. But thank you for sticking with me and listening to me ramble about my favorite topic in literature, and that is time travel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really hope you'll pick up some of these. And if you've read some of these before, Leave me comments down below. Let me know what you think. And if you've got any suggestions for me, drop them down in the comment box. I may or may not have already read them. If I haven't, thank you for introducing me to something new. And if I have, we can have a conversation. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye.